Cool, we got PC audio. What we're probably gonna do is let this music play, and then we'll start. It's been a while since I've done like a proper sort of pre-show. Musical stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna sort of we got drop frames. I don't know what that's coming from. I don't know if it's the music app playing or what, but hopefully that's not going to be pervasive. Doesn't seem to be. It's still kind of going. I think there's a whole bunch of other stuff running that could be causing this. I don't know. Like, I need to probably update Java. I don't know. Anyway, hopefully, like once we actually get started, we won't have drop frames. So anyway, last night I had to work a couple hours, kind of late in the day, and I took a nap, and I napped for like maybe 3 hours or 2 hours, or I napped for a long time. And then I woke up, it's about the time that I normally would stream, and going from napping to just streaming felt a little weird, so it just messed up my schedule royally. And I figured okay, I'm just gonna commit myself the next day to streaming earlier in the day, maybe longer, maybe in 2 parts instead of 1, to sort of make up for it. Because I really want to. I mean, I've said before that I have been trying to just not get into this mindset of skipping any day, of streaming, if I can help it. I hope the music isn't overwhelming. Let me turn it down just a little bit more. But yeah, so I'm kind of okay, well, also I think at a certain level, realizing music is overwhelming on my end, so I'm gonna kind of, turn it down for myself anyway. Anyway, this is this sidebar, this is a OC remix, improvisations on this moment seized by time. I have no idea who this is by. Oh, Drum Ultima. Okay. But anyway, kind of realizing that I've been using just skipping one day has tended to become a chain reaction. I've kind of, at this point, I'm kind of I'm, now that I'm aware of that, basically, I'm okay, well, I'm not going to use the fact that I skipped one day, or I happened to skip one day, or decided to take a break for one day, or that, I just, things just happened, I got caught up in stuff I was doing, and by the time I was done doing the stuff I'm doing, I'm, it's too late, or I just, maybe I don't feel like it, or I don't know, like one reason or another, I decided to just take a break for a day. Like I shouldn't use that as like, well, now, you know, I don't know what, it's just the that weird mindset that you can kind of have where like, well, so now I skip one day, I can skip another day. Like it doesn't matter anymore. Like not quite that exactly, but that sort of thing. So it's like, okay, like I can skip a day, but I need to maybe make up for that the following day, or you know, not use that as a license to keep on skipping days. If I'm gonna take an outright break for several days, I need to like announce that, like plan it in advance, make sure everyone kind of knows. Um, I also kind of realized, well, perhaps maybe now that I've actually been streaming for a few days, that definitely there is a pattern to the YouTube algorithm where it might be, oh yeah, it's going into a loop. Okay. Um, there's a big pattern in the YouTube algorithm where I seem to accumulate more viewers the more videos I'm doing in a row. So, okay. But I don't know if I've updated about my home thing. I'm gonna be doing a tour. I think on the 9th of July, like early on in July. The place we're looking at right now may become available in September or October at the latest, which may require an extension on the voucher that we got from the housing assistance program. But that can kind of be arranged or whatever. So plenty of time to pack up all this stuff. um, like I'm really hoping that in terms of like just having a messy space, um, a fairly substantial part of it. Um, I mean, on my dad's side, we have a lot of pack rats. I think my mother kind of balances that out a little bit, because she tries to be organized. Um, my dad is also a former librarian, so um, um, there's I don't know, like part of what makes it difficult to be organized is I have just this room mainly to keep my stuff in, and I'm accumulating more and more stuff, and I have fewer and fewer places to put that stuff. So, like having an entire apartment with, a living room and a bedroom to sort of get some more shelves, display things, to just put all the various things I've accumulated. Um, nerdy paraphernalia, a shit ton of DVDs and Blu-rays. I'm probably going to put like all of my DVDs that upgrade to Blu-ray into a box and either try to pawn it off or possibly just straight up donate it to like Goodwill or Salvation Army. Because yeah, I probably wouldn't get that much for it anyway. So I don't know if it would really be that much worth it, especially with physical media sort of going out of fashion and standard definition media being really out of fashion, even more out of fashion. Yeah, so I could potentially do like some sort of a giveaway, like if people like if I have some DVDs that people might really want to just have to watch or something. I don't know if it would be worth that. Especially with like shipping and stuff that had to go into that. I'd probably be better to just do a giveaway through Amazon or something, because at least they would like Prime shipping would probably cover the shipping, and although I had to cover the actual price of the product itself, but I don't know. It would be like substantially easier to arrange. But anyway, we're about like 6 minutes after when I scheduled the stream to start. So anyway, apologies also to everyone from the time period where I normally stream. I have, as something of a tradition, I've either done Thursday streams earlier or I've not done them at all because of Critical Role. Because I like to catch my Critical Role show when it's actually live. Next Thursday, that won't be a problem because I believe they're moving their studio stuff to a new location, so there's not going to be any Critical Role next week, sadly for me. But good for you guys who might actually want to watch me streaming at my regular time on Thursday. Which is also up to my work schedule a little bit, but not too much. But anyway, you know, people from regular like time zones or schedules that allow them to see me at the time I normally do, which for me is like about like 10 o'clock to midnight, you know, and probably even later into the evening, or morning, as it were, as early into the morning. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, I don't know if that's gonna be like long term, like when I normally stream. Like it's a good time to stream, I guess, in terms of my work schedule because, well, it could be just because I'm guaranteed like after 10, like I'm guaranteed to be like off work, you know, regardless of when they schedule me. But then again, I can be scheduled to be working early the next morning, and I'm not exactly on the best of days. I'm not a morning person. Usually they schedule me at like 10 at the earliest, but still, even then, like, you know, I had to get in the shower at 9, and yeah, and then I had to like wake up at 8 or 7 or 8, you know, because I want to have like a good period of time just to wake myself up. Yeah, so and that's actually going to be an issue on Friday because I'm working at 10 on Saturday. So anyway, I'm probably scheduling streaming a little bit earlier than usual on Friday, and also today. So like very much earlier than usual. So you just get to you know, watch the archive and comment. I've also finally updated the outro. So okay, I don't have VLC running, but drop frames have been going down. I think they stopped, hopefully. So anyway, I've been rambling long enough. Let's play our intro video, which I still need to update, but like that's gonna take a lot of time because I had to like, because like the mascot, the new SNES style mascot is you know, just a still image. So in order to make a animated version of that, what I did with the NES style mascot was I took like the Link sprite from the original Legend of Zelda and you know, tweaked it into something resembling the Pixels mascot. Here I had to sort of take the Link to the Past sprite and then you know, sort of tweak that and rework it into looking like the Pixels mascot. But even then, it's a lot more work. And also like the Link, like the animation for Link is like really surprisingly dynamic. It has lots of frames to it, and I like for what I'm used to, what I'm kind of hoping to do, which is like using RPG Maker, to like handle the animation stuff, you know, and the sequence. Yeah, like the main sequence of it. There isn't that many frames of animation, so you have to kind of pick and choose, like, okay, like which frames are going to be used, and it's a lot of work basically. Anyway, let's just roll our original intro video. I mean, I could just update the original intro video with the new updated logo. Um, Possibly, but yeah. Anyway, let's just roll it. Updated this my little stream area a little bit with the Chrono Cross logo. Integrated. Still don't have anything down here. Like, I might add the chat down here. It's just a matter of, like, I deleted a bunch of stuff in OBS and now I had to, like, restore it. It was kind of by accident because of the way they handle, like, scene selections and profiles and what have you. Is, like, I'm still figuring it out, and I've kind of come to the conclusion that it's probably better just to leave my setup be, because it's really hard to, like, actually properly save, like, scene collections and stuff and, like, reload them, and I'm still not quite sure how it's supposed to work. Like, it's not very intuitive. But anyway, we're like almost 15 minutes. We're over 15 minutes into the stream. We're almost 15 minutes after when I scheduled to start, so. Is there? Okay, there we go. It's in sync. Did I? Well, if I didn't save, if I slave slotted, then okay, no, I didn't. I saved right in front of. It says like Goldub. Like, wait a minute. Like, I'm not in Goldub. I'm on the world map. Apparently it does, like, indicate where your location is. It's like just where you were in the story. Anyway, I forgot to grab my laptop. Although, unfortunately, like, the maps are not, like, actually part of the walkthrough, which is dumb. This is actually one area where a PDF is a bit inferior. I believe I had the physical guide somewhere, but it's, like, really torn up in bad shape, so I don't, particularly at the ends of it, so I don't know if I could get to the maps if I wanted to. I've had, like, multiple instances of. I don't know if I could do that, actually. Let's see here. I think we need to go this way really as quickly as we can. Okay, what are you guys doing walking around these marshes in such light clothing? Sorry, damn amateurs, don't expect me to save you when you die of poisoning. Okay. Okay, my fellow expedition crew members up on the treetop have spare safety gear they can lend you. Go ask them. Cool. I should put up a chat room here for myself. Okay. Just in case I Cool. There are a lot of living creatures here. I guess it makes some sense. Hey, you gotta be crazy to walk around the forest without protective gear. Have an extra set with me. Take him. This way you'll be able to walk through the marsh without getting hurt. This means it's automatically equipped. Oh, watch out for the monsters lurking deep within the forest. We haven't actually explored those parts yet. We don't know how to get there. Okay. So, if you want to go deeper into the forest, you need the proper equipment and the means to control these strange plants. Unlike the plants by the entrance, these plants seem to have been completely mutated by the toxin. They'll whack you in the face if you touch them. I believe the dwarves who used to inhabit the forest used to be able to bend these plants without touching them. Okay, that explains like the first one. I'm assuming the safety gear is automatically equipped. This is just the end of. This is. I think this is like maybe somewhat poor level design. I mean, if this was in widescreen, they probably could have extended. They could have made space use of the extra realty to just actually have the end of the branch on screen. But it's kind of somewhat poor level design. Because you need to convey, okay, like, that this is... like, the actual end. Which is, I think, a big problem, particularly in this game, of all things. Like, you know, like... getting a sense of the depth... like where one thing ends and another thing begins. Granted, this is maybe designed. Oh, like it says that there's a passage over here, which I don't know even why this is a thing. Is there something hidden underneath? There's nothing up here, so I don't know what the point of this path is. Which I think it's also somewhat poor level design, at least in my opinion. Like, you can feel free to argue that's actually like brilliant level design, but in my opinion, this is not the best level design. I don't think there's anything else to explore here. Yeah, there's just this. It may have looked a little bit better on CRT, so so I suppose there is that to consider, but oh yeah, the safety gear seems to be just equipped by default. This definitely an enemy. I probably should stock up on antidotes. I've had talked a little bit about like the whole equipping magic thing. Um, the fact that you had to like um uh you know, like what magic you equip can like be important in terms of like dungeon to dungeon, um, boss fight to boss fight on certain levels. Um, I feel like that is just again it goes into. I'm gonna turn up the PC audio just a little bit here. Oh yeah, now I had to go back and bring the chat back up. Anyway, okay. So, uh, um, so, like, on one hand, it introduces an element of strategy, which is fine for people who like strategy, like that element of complexity, I guess, or... But the thing is that it becomes kind of overwhelming. And like the auto allocate feature is there, like it's you know there's a I guess there's I would assume there's something of an algorithm behind it. The problem is you can't rely on it too much because there are circumstances where it's best to use a particular, you know, there's a boss fight where, you know, maybe you need to have a turn, you know, a turn blue, like for with, what's her name? Margaret, or I think maybe, or whatever her name was. You know, or... And, that, like, that's kind of, like, really critical to do, and, like, you have no real... Like, you can run for the battle and, like, prepare after the fact that they're, like, realizing, oh, like, she's, like, innately blue, and, like, a turn blue would... Like, realize, okay, like, a turn blue would, like, amplify her, like, weakness to the opposite magic. Which, you know, so, like, you can strategize kind of after the fact, which is nice, but... And you can kind of realize going into a dungeon, like, okay, I need particular elements. But the auto-allocate feature does not really... Like, I don't know, if I were to remake this game... I actually almost think that the Chrono Cross needs a remake a little bit more than Chrono Trigger does. Like, I would personally want a Chrono Trigger remake before a Chrono Cross remake. And for Square, I think they probably would want to do that too. But I think that, like, the way I would want to do it is make a Chrono Trigger remake, and it would be fairly, relatively faithful. Like, it may include some new content, maybe some stuff that would tie even more into the plot of Chrono Cross. Then I would kind of, on a certain level, I probably would remake Chrono Cross from the ground up. Not necessarily to make it more in line with Chrono Trigger, although that would be kind of neat. I would kind of, on some regards, maybe even want to, like, integrate, like, the best parts of Chrono Cross and the best parts of Chrono Trigger. Like, the concepts of Chrono Cross and some of the ideas of Chrono Cross. And, I don't know. Like, one interesting idea would be to have the auto-allocate feature. Like, if we're just gonna take it to the basic, like, groundwork of it, I would have the auto-allocate feature be even more contextual. Like, if you're in a dungeon, like, it might not be like if you're about to have a boss battle where you're up against a particular boss that's like weak to particular elements or something, or has certain abilities, like, it wouldn't necessarily be like that. It wouldn't like automatically like detect what kind of enemy you're about to go up against and like automatically prepare you for it, because like that would be cheating effectively. But it could be like you're in a dungeon, like there's a few ways you could do it. Maybe. I would say allocate would be context. Like what I would maybe kind of want to do on a very basic level would be to have the auto allocate feature effectively be if you're in a dungeon that has a lot of enemies of a particular element, that it would automatically like make your configuration match that. So like, you know, like this Hydra Martians has a lot of like green element enemies, so it would give you a lot of elements. It would allocate you to some extent like a combination of innate elements, which is what it already does, but it also would allocate to some extent elements of the opposite color of the opposing color of the types of enemies that are in a particular dungeon, if there is a dominant enemy type in this particular dungeon, in a particular dungeon type area, or level, or whatever you want to call it, rather than like basically be like, okay, well, you can use auto allocate, but like that's just going to give you like what's optimal for your particular party. It's not going to give you what's optimal for a particular situation that you find yourself in, where like with regard to like bosses, with regard to dungeons, you know, dungeon levels. So that stuff you have to do manually, which is like having the option to do it manually is nice, but on the other hand, for a player like me who doesn't necessarily like the busy work as much, like having to like go through and manually like figure out, okay, like I need to equip this spell, this spell, this spell, like having to do that every time I go into a new dungeon or every time I'm about to go into a boss battle is a bit cumbersome and maybe a little bit tedious, and I'd rather not deal with that. You know, and I'm relying on strategy guides, so like I kind of know exactly what to do, so even the strategy is kind of gone. But even if I was mindful of strategy, it's like, okay, well, I figure out, okay, like there's enemies here that are green. And so I'm taking like, these periods to like rant about things, but that's kind of what I do here, to varying degrees, depending on my opinions of the game. And in this case, my opinion of this game is that it's very flawed. It's not terrible, but there's things that could have been improved a lot. I think that like the complexity of this game is just too much for my taste. And I think that when you... It's okay to make a game as complex, or that has... But... in the case of this particularly, like, you're jumping from a game that was very simple and straightforward for the most part, in terms of, like, almost every aspect. Nearly every aspect of Chrono Trigger was relatively simple. Like, there's layers of things that you can interpret in it, and that's like... but the basic plot was simple, the basic gameplay mechanics are fairly simple. There's layers of depth that you can engage with, to some extent, which is what I like. I like layers of complexity. So, this game toys with that a little bit with the element system, with the auto-allocate feature. The problem is, of course, that auto-allocate is a little dumb. It doesn't take into context. It doesn't take... it's not contextual. It's just like, okay, like, this is what... These are the spells that are most powerful for your... at least as far as I can tell. Like, it's like, these are the spells you have. These are the spells that your character is innate in will like favor to some extent this types of spells that your character is innate in, and then like kind of on one level or other randomly fill out the rest, maybe. But then it doesn't take into account like what the things that bosses can do. It doesn't take into account necessarily what the enemies in a particular area can do. So you have to take care of that yourself, which is the problem. Because if you just want to do auto-allocate, well, you're going to be in trouble to some extent if you aren't going out of your way to equip stuff manually on top of like auto-allocate. Like auto-allocate can kind of make things a little bit easier because you can at least get like a starting point for your spells. But again, you know, because you have no control of auto-allocate, that's the other problem. Like you may have special particular spells that you just really like that you have equipped and it becomes unequipped because random reason. You know, because of how auto-allocate works, and then suddenly you don't have that spell anymore. Like like there has to be a middle ground, and this game does not even bother to like it. Auto-allocate is a good start, but it doesn't really work as well as it should, and it feels like you're not really meant to use it. You're meant to do this manually, and because of the complexity of like elements and elemental affinities and opposing elements, like they are a big part of this game. And like if we're just like Chrono Trigger, where like you just you have your spells, you have MP, you and spells cost MP, and you had to like and MP is kind of hard. Like there aren't very many items that will restore MP, I think, in Chrono Trigger, which is a little bit of a problem. But like you generally have plenty of MP, and you have plenty of chances to like, you know, rest. You know, it's kind of up to you to make sure that you properly rest and restore yourself, revitalize your characters, you know, as often as you can, to you know, keep their MP up so that they don't run out halfway through a dungeon. Oh, there might be more. It's been like kind of a year since I played Chrono Trigger, so I can't remember all the details. But I think there might be some stuff. There might be stuff you can buy that restores MP, so that might not be as big an issue. But regardless, yeah, it's straightforward. And here, there's this somewhat weird metagame element to elements as well, which I think I touched upon a little bit. But like the fact that you can only use like any given element you have equipped once per battle, is a bit metagame, because like part of the result of that is that you can't really use like the cure spell or maybe even the revive spell. Although like you don't really need to use the revive spell, because like when a character like falls unconscious during battle, at the end of the battle they get back with 1 HP, so like at least they accounted for that. And it kind of makes sense. Like it's somewhat realistic, because like they, you know, if the idea is that they just fall unconscious, then like you wouldn't like have the resources to like ensure that they're able to come to. Like, you know, you can't like really, I don't know, splash some water on them or slap them a bit in the face or try to wake them up. Like in the middle of battle, that would be very effective. So like you can just like when you get out, like the idea would be like when you get out of the battle, you're able to like, you know, restore them to consciousness for whatever means, and then like, you know, obviously you need to apply healing, you know, tablets and such, you know, healing items, because you can't use healing magic outside of battle because balance reasons. Like, because there's no MP, the only balancing factor is that you can only use a spell once per battle, which doesn't necessarily even make a whole lot of sense. Like, you could say, like, okay, this is just the way that magic works in this game. This is the way that like elements that you buy work, but then why is that so? Like, when you talk about Final Fantasy VII, like, you have the materia system, which makes sense within the context of the world, within the world building. That, like, this is just, you know, you have, like, your weapons and items, and they have these little slots that you can put, like, material, you know, these magic things into, and they affect your stats, I think, to some extent. You know, I kind of want to play Final Fantasy VII at some point. But materia has a logic to it. Like, you know, you have items that you equip that have slots for materia, and materia work a particular way. They grant you spells, and this is actually kind of getting at the idea of materia, because you have to actually equip your magic. In the Final Fantasy games, like, how much magic you equip is dependent on the types of equipment you have. So there's a similar issue in Final Fantasy VII to some extent, I suppose, where you had to equip your spells. They still use MP. You still don't have to worry about, like, them only being usable once. You have to worry about building up, like, stamina or whatever to be able to have access to certain tiers of spells. Like, it's an interesting idea, and it's well executed. And yeah, I don't really have any issue with it. Yeah, like, there's not much to take issue with, really, with the way it's executed. It's well executed. It makes sense. It's intuitive, because it, like, it's different from other RPG games, which is, like, your barrier there, but it's, again, it makes sense. There's an element of world building behind it, and there's a logic to how it's supposed to work. Here, it doesn't really make sense. Like, you know, like, is it like, why can't I mean, I guess it makes sense a little bit that you can't use magic outside of battle, because you had to, like, land successful hits to, like, build up your magic power somehow. So, like, I guess if you aren't able to, like, hit some enemies, although, like, if this were to be converted into a tabletop RPG, then almost certainly players would be like, okay, like, I just, like, punch, I punch a regular party member, and they're like, okay, like, I'll use cure, like, however, like, you know, like, say, like, the cure magic is usually, like, the first tier. So, like, I hit them, like, I lightly hit them for, like, you know, a small amount of hit points. And, like, the cure or whatever magic, you know, can heal, like, that and more, ideally. Like, realistically, you could, like, you know, hold your punch a little bit, because, like, the whole point is that, like, you just give just enough of a punch to build up the magic energy to cast cure, like, or whatever. Like, it feels really weird to me. Okay, is my point, and it's not very intuitive. It begs you to overthink it. At least begs people like me to overthink it. And because I think part of the reason why I overthink it is because, like, it is so radically different. And I'm, like, trying to figure out, okay, like, well, how is it supposed to work? You know, like, why is it so different? And heck, you know, looking at, like, Chrono Trigger lore, like, okay, like, there's already was this concept of MP. Now, granted, it does kind of work because Chrono and company didn't really have magic to start out with. Like, they had to, like, go to Specchio to, like, learn magic and to unlock their innate magical abilities and such. So you could say, like, that, like, this is a world where no one really is able to innately use magic, or very few people are able to innately use magic. But they found a way to, like, get around that through these element things that everybody's selling. You know, I think it's barely established, like, exactly, like, that's just kind of the way the world is. But like for a Chrono Trigger fan, like you do kind of I'm overthinking it. But overthinking it because it's annoying to start with, so I don't know. But a big part of making things realistic is, you know, like one of the main reasons why you want to make things realistic is because, it can make things intuitive. It can be like, okay, well, okay, this makes sense because, you know, you just have a, you know, we're used to the idea of having, like, basic math in a matter of speaking, like, you know, that, like, we have money, we have things that, like, come in limited quantities, so, the idea that, I think lightning works well against, maybe, I don't know, I don't have any lightning stuff. Like, a Chrono Trigger Elemental Affinity is like, you know, like that isn't inherently, part of the pity of a specimen on your foe. Okay, let's see how that works. I'm not sure about how that's gonna work. I mean, I guess there's things in the real world that you can only use once. But, like, then you have to, like, wonder, like, okay, again, how does it, like, recharge? Like, how do you... How is it that you can only use it once per battle? Like, is it a matter of time? You know, you to... But then, like, if you're in a very long and arduous battle, then shouldn't they automatically be restored after a time? Like... That's clearly metagame. Like, I guess maybe like it has to do with like your adrenaline or something. Like you had in order to like restore your magical abilities or to reuse your elements, you have to come down from your adrenaline high. I don't know. Like there's no real like logic behind that I can think of offhand. Like how is it that you're able to reuse your elements? And then some elements can be, you know, stocked up, other elements can't, you know, and some elements like work like proper items that, you know, you have an inventory of. But then you had to, even then, like, you had to, like, work up to even be able to use, like, healing spells. Like, there's so much about it that doesn't make, like, sense. Realistically. That's, I guess, my point. The point I'm trying to make, in short, is that, like, because it doesn't have a sense of verisimilitude or realism, like, it's not simply, okay, I'm afflicted with something yellow, I don't know what the heck that is. Dizzy? Okay, so I need to stock up on the yellow cure stuff, apparently. This is barely hurting them. Also, stamina system, like, really just... I don't know how that works exactly, or even how, like, why you need to build up stamina, like... How does attacking an enemy and landing successful hits influence your ability to... your spellcasting ability? Like, what's the connection there? Like, there's nothing in the real world that I can attach that to. Because usually, like, when you, like, take actions, like, and, like, use up stamina, you have, like, less ability to do stuff. Do I have any... Okay, I have Cure. It'll sort of small amount of HP, but it's better than leaving her teetering on the edge of death. Should I just run away from this battle? Because this is looking to be... Like, I just got that one, like, to... Like, blade status, or whatever you want to call it. I thought he had, he needs to work up to, yeah, like, be able to use the items that can actually heal more. And, I'm... They're just gonna run away. Like, this is way too... This is above our pay grade. I probably should have used consumables. Oh, come... It's literally standing in our way. Wait, And hopefully this guy is not as tough as those ant things. You just got bushwhacked. And bush bashed, apparently, as well. Like, enemies can, like, sort of interrupt what you're doing to attack you, like, how does that work? Apparently enemies don't necessarily have a finite amount of uses of their elements like the party does, so it's kind of unbalanced in that regard. I don't know if I understand that correctly or not. Okay, so I have this little area I can climb up, but it doesn't have anything. What? Okay. Can I? Yeah, here's an area that looks like I should be able to climb it, and it doesn't. It's not climbable. Like, this area is climbable, this is not. Like, there's no, like, within the texture, there's nothing within the texture that suggests to me that, what? Do I need to... Wait, no, I think I may have used the wrong button. There we go. What is this? Is this anything, or is that just a little detail that looks unusual? Okay. Okay, good. There's a save point here. There's an enemy right next to it, but I think that... I guess I'll fight this guy. And I think that, like, even the excuse that it's just how magic works, is like, you know, it's a wizard did it logic, you know, Again, like I said, it's unintuitive. I'm explaining this to no one in particular. I'm just like, it's a thought I had. Like, magic needs to have a certain logic behind it. That's, that's something you need to be aware of as a game designer, even more when you're trying to do something that is inherently unconventional like this. Wahaha! A rare flower can only that only be grown in poison marshes. Finally, it'll be ours! All because the Hydra be extinct now! Mwahaha! Humans destroyed the ecosystem that kept the water clean! That must be why the Hydra died out. Timely message of the ruler of the forest dead, the dwarves have be gone now! The forest be belonging to us! What are those two talking about? What you be looking at? Pretty impressive making it through the poison marshes, but there be nothing here. Get lost! Beat it! Beat it! No one wants to be defeated! No wait, they must be pretty weak from the poison. Let's have fun with them. Mwahaha, not a bad idea. Let's tear them up! Okay, way to have continuity. We saw two of them, one of each, like, height. And then... oh, might as well. Okay, I'm still getting dropped frames occasionally. I wish OBSD would, like, just make drop frames instead of, like, a percentage of the stream thus far, be, like, more, like, on average, how many frames are being dropped. Like, per minute or something like that. Okay, so this is a life sparkle. I think this is what I need. Yeah. I don't know how to get up there. Let's see if we can get around. We can't get around this guy, but it doesn't really matter. These are the guys we should have been up against. They got two tall, short ones. I don't know if that's just the... Okay, it didn't really have much of an effect. Okay. I don't know why it doesn't lead me to another screen. Because this is just poor level design. Again. It looks like a place where there should be an exit and there isn't. I just will. This is another aspect of game design I don't necessarily care a lot for, which is like, have you have to select an item in order to use it. Like I mean, it's useful when it comes to some puzzly type of elements where like you had to figure out which item you need to use, but I think we're just gonna go back to the first slot. Oh wait, that's not where we want to go. I mean, it might be interesting to travel through here just to see what it's like, but I don't know if there's anything in here in particular that we need to do. I think there might be a point where like there's something like a party member we can recruit in the forest. I don't know, or you know, just grinding would be. my face up on. Blossom! Hi! I'm Neopheo! So you must be my master. Nice to meet you, bud. Dude, what does Neopheo have that, Nate Green, I'm probably gonna stick with, Lucia for now. Take me with you, okay, yeah. That's it. The angels, who's the they? That's why we kept Lucia back in. Kept Lucia in the party. The place where the flow of time splits in two. So what's the plan now, Sergey? What is that? Is it reacting to something? So this is the wormhole, the dimensional wormhole that connects two worlds? Do you actually need to, like, use the pendant? The astral amulet? It felt like my body split in two, a very strange feeling. So I made it into the other world, right? An other world awaits you. Are you sure, Sergey? I still find it hard to believe. I think this is the first instance where we can actually take one character from an alternate world to meet the alternate version. Oh, hello there, Sege. Can you shoot something? Oh, we have Aqua Beam. I don't think we had it before. Did we? Or maybe we did. I think we did. We just haven't had a reason to equip it or something. I don't have me stockpile, so I think we're going to stockpile a few. Yippee! Hey! That girl looks like me! Haha, surprised? Well, there's something real deep behind all this. You should have Sege explain it to you when it's all over, of course. Huh? Wow, it just seems so weird. What's going on, but good luck. You got it. Leave it to me. Like, yeah. This is... this is the last we really see or hear from the actual version of Lena that is supposed to be our girlfriend. We get like substantially more romantic development from Kid and Harl, so then get your priorities straight and let her know how you feel. Understand tomorrow is a new day. Who knows what will happen? Okay. Where did that come from? Like, is it something that we're saying to her that we don't get to hear because he's a silent protagonist? Her free resting. Finally, at last. Okay, we're going red for... Now we're yellow, now we're green again. I don't know, like my connection is not very stable for some reason. Not like downloading anything. I have no idea, like maybe something on YouTube's end, maybe something on my ISP's end, I don't know what the heck it is, but I keep on seeing like the connection thing going red. So for a kid that is afraid of cats, we sure have a lot of cats. Mother clearly believes in exposure therapy. So we're going to Hydro Marshes in the home world. There's probably still stuff happening in Fossil Valley. Yeah, for like a trade route, that's really unusual. I mean, isn't that gay? Did the village elders tell you not to come here? Oh, you're with Lena. Well, I'm sure you'll be okay if she comes along. Hey, what do you mean by that? Nothing. You want to go further into the forest, right? Well, if it's the three of you, I'm sure you'll be okay. Before you enter here, I'll give you a word of advice. Marshes are like a maze full of poisonous monsters. Be prepared. Oh, there's a ghost. Apparently. Sake, what are you doing? You're standing there in a daze like that. You haven't got time to spare. Let's keep moving. See, this creature is deadly. Is this another world equivalent? Nope, these are creep. Everybody down! Something big's headed our way! What was that thing? I cannot believe this place. I think your access is a little inconsistent, I'm sorry. Alright. Did you see a strange looking creature up ahead? The Biba no place for humans, Biba! Go away, Biba off! What language? How rude. Leave it to Biba. Biba is up in Biba Las Vegas. Oh, there's. Look at my. Okay, yeah, we're already using normal camera. Okay, these guys are mates? I mean, I just like realized like they have genders. Maybe call another friend. Oh, great. Maybe call one more friend. Why did you have some sort of a chart of like which elements are opposed to each other? Alina's like kind of low on health here. Let's use the capsule. The Biba brothers? Well, one of them is a sister, so... I guess we kill off the one Biba sister. It's only brothers now. And we have What? Okay, apparently whatever page is on is freaking... A comparison between Chrono Cross and Skylines of Arcadia in terms of like elemental affinities. That's actually one area where it's actually kind of better done. So yellow is okay, weak to green, or opposed to green, or something like that. Oh, I should have plenty of stamina though, I think. What am I doing? Again, like, turn is interrupted by... Okay, let's just see what Health Soul does. Miss. Is that just an insta-death, like, spell that's, like, useless unless you're, like, really lucky or something? Or enemies really unlucky? Or just really weak against, dark magic? Ooh. That's blade now, so looking rough. Okay, I didn't kill it outright. Drop another meteor on its head. Upheaval. I Biba sorry. Here, I give you this. Please forgive Biba. The flute is handed down in the Biba family. It Biba magical. It calls Wingipede. It calls Wingipede. It makes Wingipede Biba good Wingipede. It best Biba used in a wide open space. Well, I be Biba seeing you. Yeah. Okay. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Bop. Why don't you try blowing the flute here, Sergey? Okay. Maybe I should, save first. Okay. This be about the wrong place. This isn't the wide open space I was talking about. Dot 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 dot. No, like hidden Biba I can talk to. Well, there is a chest in this way. I don't like humans, but I don't hate them either. I look like strong. I just like strong beings, no matter what species they be. But might you be? Yeah. Strong as Mr. Universe. Let the challenge commence. Okay. You to be people call friend, what? I just get to go for the whole boss battle or pseudo boss battle again. That was really effective. It's super effective. $69, dude. That'd be quite fun. I give you the treasure behind me. Hasta la biba, baby. Really. Bush basher. Okay. A wide open space. Could this be it? Second, why don't you try to blowing that flute? Okay, once again make a save state. I never had to use it, but just in case this is the first time. You tell me that potion will be good. This is the Wikipedia. It's actually smarter than I thought. It's okay. Why do not try feeding it something? Something. I don't know if I have antidotes equipped or not. Damn it. And it's another thing of like equipping consumables. Like, why not just go with convention and make consumables into consumables that you just have, you don't have to worry about allocating them. Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't think Health Cell's gonna work on it. We're all poisoned. I don't think we have any antidote because, again, there's no context for auto-equipping stuff. Is there a save point? I don't think there's a save point close enough to where we are. Do you have any characters of Red Affinity? We have him. Okay. I may actually switch around which save slots I'm using when I'm in a dungeon versus outside of a dungeon. Okay. Was that begin for a sec of this fool could give away any minute. We should avoid passing through the middle. What was the optional boss encounter? Who would have thought there was a cavern inside this tree, let alone this big old monster? At least it serves as a cushion to break our fall. Otherwise, that would have hurt. If old Five Legs here wakes up, we could be in a lot of trouble. We should try to get out of here while we still can. Dot 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 dot. Hey Serge, is that really a fairy? I've not seen one before. I've never seen one before. Let's leave her trapped here like this. Let's help her out. Right there, my darlings. Is that the monster? Wait right there, my darlings. Do you think you can walk out of here alive and with my dinner too? Come to think of it, it's been years since I wrapped my sweet tentacles around succulent human flesh. You'll make a fun main course to go with a delicious fairy appetizer. You should consider it in order to be the dinner guest of Madame Pentapus. I didn't believe this. It just one battle after another. This time we're trapped in the hole, no way out. We have no choice but to fight. There is no escape! What? They have turn blue area. That should strengthen his weakness. Strengthen his weakness. Of course. Clothesline! That wasn't very effective. Will I be... Whoa! This thing's a really heavy hitter. Stairs needs more than it does. Okay, it doesn't really help. That instantly took him out. Great. Good work. The whole point of this was to have him... The whole point of having him in the party was to... Can we run away? Like, we really need to regroup here. Oh, my darlings! You forget my dinner get away from me that easily? Stop this useless resistance. Accept your just desserts. Regroup for rematch. Continue useless resistance. We need to use a bunch of tablets. Where's the Bush Basher? Just trying to impress me. There's no way you can be excused from my table, no matter how many times you try. I'm sure you maybe I should clip turn red and then use it have directly use it on himself. That's like much more effective than actual red elemental attack. That's 600 HP. Yeah, like actual attacks of his own element are more strong than I think I may have actually just made it, like, stronger with its own element by turning it blue. Oh, okay. You got another 2 more boss fights after this? What the heck? It is like a gauntlet of boss fights. Thank you for rescuing me. You are too kind for human and are kind of strong for human folk. I was surprised. Let me introduce. My name is Rasley. I come from the Water Dragon Isle. Well, you can tell just by looking at me, but I'm a fairy. I guess you could say it's fairly obvious. Very obvious. Tee-hee-hee. I've heard of the island. The old fishermen in my village sometimes spoke about it. He says that because of the strange dry spell we've been having lately, the water source has dried up. Wonder if it's the same thing in this world? Huh? Our water source dried up? This world? I don't understand what in Fairy Godmother's name you are talking about. So, okay, perhaps we better explain. Wah 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 wah. Gee, so there's another world? And you've come to these marshes in this world to save your friend in that other world? Yes, you seem to have got it. But actually, Sergei is originally from this world. We do not expect you to believe us, but it is true. We have traveled through a wormhole to your world. We need to hide your humor to make the medicine that'll save our friend. There sure is a Hydra in this forest. I saw it with my very own eyes. That's when those big noses caught me. Those big noses caught me and threw me in here to become platypus bait. I want to go home to my island, but it's too far for a fairy like me to fly on my own. Tee-hee, what about taking me along with you? I don't have a choice on the matter. Join my party, he. Recover all. Okay. What? The guy doesn't tell me anything here. I'm just at a dead end. Why is this here? Then. Okay, we're gonna jump down. There's some mention of degrading Rasley's equipment. I don't know if I need to go back to I need to get. There should be a very quick way of like accessing our party members' equipment and such. Well, we can do that. Something else here. So I think we're gonna head back to Arnie Village and then pick this up in the next part. Take a break about like an hour or so. I probably need to go back to Termina to get actual weapons that head to Termina and Okay, so what? The only thing I can do is an iron rod. I has a brass rod equipped, so what the heck are they talking about in terms of equipping, giving Rasley a weapon upgrade? Okay. I can get iron out of the silver earring, which doesn't tell you what the silver earring does, so I'm kind of at a loss for whether or not that's a good thing to haven't been shut down yet. Do you know my yellow is going back on the search? Okay, for yellow materials or rainbow materials. It increases the amount of hit points you have during battle. There you go. And the screws, which going to get apparently from other stuff. I don't know. we're just gonna use that as a secondary save, and then we're gonna use the going to a dungeon. We're gonna use that for our primary save. Anyway. We've updated our outro finally. Logos and the new mascot and everything. So, thanks for watching. You can follow us on Twitter. Got 2 different Twitters. Pixels Plays is sort of a channel's Twitter, and Pixels Teacher Gamer is my personal Twitter. I use them from time to time, and there are there's automatic tweets about I think I'm at least on the Pixels Plays one. I think that about when I'm going to stream. So when I've started a stream, so that's a good way to. As in case YouTube doesn't quite notify you correctly, the Twitter will be a little. So you can like if you liked it, dislike if you don't. It doesn't really. It's valuable feedback either way. Of course, it helps with the algorithm and all that. You can comment and subscribe and ring the bell. But until next time, sayonara. See you in a few hours, probably.